Greetings, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Higher Ed Geek Podcast. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. It'll be a quicker one, sort of a recap of 2019 and looking ahead to 2020, as this will be the final episode of this year's season. 2019, pretty steady going for me. Did move the podcast to bi-weekly episodes, which I think will be a little bit more sustainable for me moving forward, pending any other potential changes or anything. But really enjoyed all the episodes, just a lot of great content, great conversations with, I think, a great diversity of people, different backgrounds, and just different focuses. So really grateful for all the folks that jumped on, and for all of you for listening. Definitely seeing growth in our overall downloads and everything, which is always cool to see, and had a great first, I think, of the first live recording at San Diego Comic-Con, which could not ask for a better first live panel recording. Wasn't exactly my show per se, but really just appreciated that opportunity, and just glad that I could share it out with the audience as well. So looking ahead to 2020 as well, really excited just for some hopeful opportunities to really get more resources and get infused with more kind of energy and support for the show, to continue to grow it and do some different things. We'll stick with the bi-weekly episodes, and always appreciate folks' recommendations or their own interest in being guests, or just recommendations of other folks they think would be good. Always try to curate the lists, and it's great starting out the year with a great roster of folks to reach out to and schedule time with. But also looking ahead to 2020, and really it'll kind of start for me in a couple of weeks, but looking ahead to 2020 for more conferences, more exposure that way, and just getting out there, networking, putting the word out. I'll have my first conference in a long time, as of the recording of this episode, coming up in a couple of weeks. It'll be the Online Learning Consortium's Accelerate Conference happening in Orlando right before Thanksgiving. So I'm really excited for that one to have a little bit more relevance and connection to the work that I do kind of as my day job, day to day, and really getting the word out about podcasting in general with one of the sessions that I'm presenting, and then just learning from other folks, really plugging into the idea of kind of these personal learning networks and us learning from each other. I think podcasts feature very prominently into that. So definitely where my brain is at as I kind of think through the potential of this and any other projects, and definitely keep an eye out for a blog post about that conference, just with it being the first conference of that kind for me. Or last any conferences that I've gone to have all been sort of NASPA, ACBA related, so kind of your traditional student affairs lens for everything. So really excited for something different there, and really excited to get back into the conference going rhythm. So other than that, other big things to announce that I'm kind of yet to make official. So keep an eye out on all social media, Higher Ed Geek, on Twitter and Instagram, and feel free to connect on LinkedIn. Definitely check us out on Facebook as well. So I'll keep, doing some follow-up on pushing out all the great content that we curated this year. You can find my writing on the NAC blog or Presence blog. If you follow me on social media, you'll see me sharing out the content that I contribute for those folks there. But otherwise, just hope to hear from you all over the holidays, while we all hopefully have time to reflect and reach out to those that we are grateful for. And please do, again, reach out with recommendations for guests, or just any ideas, or just wanting to chat about podcasting. Always happy to do it. But again, thank you all for listening this past year. Thanks for those who maybe just jumped on this year, or who have been listening since the beginning. Always just appreciate each and every single one of you for listening to the show, and I hope you find it as informative and enjoyable as I do recording each and every one. This is definitely a labor of love for me, but would never want to do it kind of any other way, just my scrappy little show here. So again, just thank you again for listening. Hope you all have a great winter holiday season, and I will see you back here on the podcast in 2020. This podcast is part of the Connect EDU podcast network, bringing together diverse voices in the higher ed community. Check us out on Twitter at ConnectEDUPod or at connectedu.network. Thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Higher Ed Geek Podcast.